Hey everybody, this is Chaos with Chaos Games. Here today to do the review. I kind of promised in a previous video, my last video, about a little known JRPG gem. It's called Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. Now, this game right here, that is some good stuff right there, man. I recommend anybody with a PS3 or a Vita to go get that. This is one of those hidden gems right there, man. I'm telling you. I put it up there honestly, and this is a bold statement. With like JRPGs, like Persona 4. The only reason, there's a couple reasons though it doesn't overtake it, but I'll get to that here momentarily. But yeah, no. Overall, like what really sets this game apart is just the characters and the scope of the game. You really see a lot. The characters really seem to grow a lot. They become more like strangers, and they become friends and almost like family. Almost, it's like it's really it's a really good. It's a great game. One of the best JRPGs I've played, especially probably the best JRPG I've played in the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, so it's been a while since I played a JRPG this good, and excluding Xenoblade Chronicles X, that was great as well. But this one's great, and I compare it to Persona 4 because it has a lot of high school sim type of situations, but except it's not as realistic as Persona 4's. Ironically, because it's set in a kind of medieval-esque, kind of steampunkish type of world. And you're in a military academy, and they're using swords and orbital staves and other type of, even mixing it with guns. Like you got you got tanks, and it's just kind of all over the place. But it's great though, because it's like the story is engaging, because basically you center around the main character Rean Schwarzer, who comes to the military academy, Thor's military academy, because he's trying to make his own way in the world, as he's adopted. But he's adopted, and I'm not going to spoil the story too much. There's a couple things, layers to him, and he meets his classmates. This game set in a world where the civilization is heavily based on a class system or caste system. So you got nobles and you got commoners. And at Thor's military academy, they created a new class that experimented in such a way where they were to mix commoners and nobles together, and that just didn't happen before. The classes generally were set between exclusively commoner, exclusively noble. So you got all those mixing. You got a whole bunch of butting ahead, clashing ahead, because you got nobles and commoners together in the same area. The commoners are hating the nobles because the nobles, they think the nobles are snooty, and the nobles sometimes proving them right. The way they hold themselves. But then obviously there's some character growth and change, and it's really interesting to see as the time goes on. The general format is, and this is where it kind of why I don't like about it, is that the reason it doesn't get to be above Persona 4 is they don't, in my opinion, focus on the life sim aspect of it as much as Persona does. It's not a day to day. You don't deal with the situation day to day. Then have an event. Then go back to your day-to-day routine. That would have set the game off. That would have made it really, truly engaging to me. But instead, what they do is they chop it up too much, in my opinion. They chop it up, and that they only give you you experience one of Rain's free days where he helps the student council out, and then he does his this investigation of sorts, which I won't spoil if anybody decides they want to get the game. he has, you know, and then you do a practical exam. They skip a couple days, do a practical exam, which is basically some kind of, your instructor makes you do some kind of combat training test that you have to get through. Then you go on a field study. The field studies in this game is where it really sets it off, because you're always going somewhere different. You're experiencing a new locale, different cities and different places for about 2 days, and these field studies normally last. And then you know, you're doing set objectives, and then some crazy story event happens that kind of peels back layers of the world. There's lots of layers to this game. Like this, you know, political intrigue. You got the students trying to mesh with each other. You got some other dark, ancient, magical crap going on in the back. Like, this is coming at you from multiple angles, and it's just like they're all kind of trying to weave themselves together. And it's really great when you see that, because then, you know, those field studies are really great. You see character growth on the field studies. They learn, they're trying to apply, think outside the box. You know, just trying to work through these crazy situations these high school students, in essence, shouldn't really even be in. But you know, and that's when the game really comes out, is when you're on these field studies, and then it starts to go back to breaking it up. Like I said, they missed the opportunity there, like a huge opportunity to really set themselves up above a Persona level, because Persona doesn't have the scope that Trails of Cold still has, but Persona has way more heart and depth to it, because it's really focused on character growth and links and bonds. This is focused on links and bonds too, but they don't take the time to really hammer it home like they could have, and it wouldn't have taken a lot more space. Really, you're when he's free, he's, you know, set in a pretty set location on a free day, or generally when they're on a field study. You just do stuff around the town, have various things going on, little small events from day to day that you can kind of find and get into to, you know, really make the game, you see, you know, get more connected with the characters even more. Even though you do get connect with them, they just missed the opportunity, I feel like, and that would have really set the game up to another level. But still, like I said, the story of the game, the scope of the game, the character development, the localization was even good. It really sets this game apart. If you look at it on Metacritic, it's high. That 85 is well deserved. 86, 85, forget. That is well deserved rank. That's a well deserved score for this game. I believe it was best game, a PS3 game of 2015. And granted, PS3 is all but dead, but still, it's worthy of that title. It's worth picking up if you're a JRPG fan. I know the ending was crazy to this game. Has one of the best final boss battle themes. I'm big into video game music, and it has one of the best final boss themes I've ever heard. You know, there's a lot of good ones out there, especially in the, you know, Shin Megami Tensei series. You know, Shoji Meguro does great work in that series, and this was up there competing with that. So, you know, in the Final Fantasy, of course, Nobuyo Uematsu, the work he does, or has done in the past, it really competes with that. It was excellent. This game is building itself to work into a greater series. And knowing Japan, I'm a little late, because this game's been out for years there. And they already have put out the second game over there. And from all sources I've heard, the second game cranks it up a notch and gets even better. So I'm really looking for that to come out. I want to get my hands on this. I want to see what happens in this series, because the first game was so engaging to me. And aside from some missed opportunities, I feel like it's worth, definitely a must buy if you're a JRPG fan. But other than that, if anybody's played it, and tell me what you think about it. See if you agree, disagree. Otherwise, this has been Kaous for Kaous Games. Until next time, gamers game on.